Oh, welcome back, Boku no Hero Academia. I have missed you so much. Oh, this series puts a smile on my face, and it's not just that. Today is a good day. Like, it's a legit good day, because if you're an anime fan, there's so many good things today. So many good things to watch. And just, like, my hype meter right now just can't take it. It can't take it, because of all the good stuff that's coming out today. So, yeah, Boku no Hero Academia, a series that I love so much, and it's very dear to me. I made this very clear in my anime reviews of Season 1, how much I love Boku no Hero Academia, and just to see it finally back in anime form for Season 2, and confirmed, like 24 to 25 episodes, I'm just fucking excited. Like, I'm super excited for the upcoming episodes. Now, I will be honest here, this first episode, there is a lot of recap. I'm just going to be straight up with you. It's a lot of recap, and I know many might be a little bit upset with this episode because of the recap. However, in some ways, it's a good thing, because once again, it was just kind of reminding everyone what was going on from the first season, since it has kind of been a while. It has been a good long while. I mean, not a long time like Attack on Titan, for instance, but it's been a while, and so it's good that, the first episode is there to, refresh you, get it out of the way, and kind of remind you what was going on. But at the same time, though, I do like how the flashbacks were done, or the recap scenes were done. I like the scenes where Izuku, he's thinking about everything that's happened, trying to better himself, of how he's trying to make the power of, All Might's his own. I love these certain flashbacks throughout the episode that really, helped out the characters and gave them some development / characterization. And so I don't really have a problem with the recap throughout this episode, but I can see why many would, because they might have wanted complete 100% new content with the first episode of Boku no Hero Academia Season 2. Now, besides all of that, though, just, brushing that aside, I'm glad to have the series back, and I'm really glad to know that I'm probably going to get to see my favorite arc animated in Boku no Hero Academia. And as I said in my finale review of Season 1, the dude at the end of the fucking, Season 1, like, my favorite villain is going to be animated. I am super freaking excited. Like, legit. Oh, like, that villain is so fucking good. Oh my god. Like, the villain is so good. I cannot wait to see that animated. Most likely, that's going to be the second half of the season. I'm going to assume so. The first half is going to focus on the sports festival, and I'm not going to reveal what's going to necessarily happen the second half, just besides, the villain that popped up at the end of Season 1. But I'm pretty excited, because knowing now it's going to have 24 or 25 episodes, the pacing was done right in the first season. Many now know, Studio Bones now knows that, many love Boku no Hero Academia. There's a big fan base now supporting it, which I love that. I just want to take a few moments here to, just acknowledge that. I remember when Boku no Hero Academia was so small, but then it grew so big when the manga started blowing up. And then I remember talking about, like, when this finally gets anime, I know this is going to become very popular. And just to see how much the fan base of Boku no Hero Academia has grown, it truly makes me happy, and I'm just glad. I'm so glad that this series has become popular, and so many people have jumped on board and started enjoying the series. It just truly puts a smile on my face. So, once again, just my hat off. If I had a hat, I tip my hat to all of you that, have joined the Boku no Hero Academia community, because I just love to see how much passion that all of you have. So, the opening song of Season 2. Personally, I actually like it more than the first opening song. I'm not even gonna lie. I actually already like it more than the first opening song. I liked the original Boku no Hero Academia opening. It was a good song. It was very good. Had some good visuals. It was good. But I like this one better. I like the feel of it, the vibe it gives me, but at the same time, the visuals in it and getting prepped for, the sports festival that is coming up throughout this arc. I'm actually enjoying the opening song. It really fits the vibe of what, this season's gonna be about, and I'm gonna assume that the opening song is going to change for either the second half or visuals are going to change, because judging by the way the opening looks, there's no hints at the villain I'm excited for in the opening song, which we already know he was revealed at the end of Season 1, so there's no question about that this season's not going to focus on him. Like, it's obvious they will show him. So I'm very curious to see where they're going to go with the opening song. If it's going to change, or if they're just going to change the visuals in it, because that does happen to openings too. I've seen anime series do that. They keep the same song, but they change the visuals up around the second half to, represent the upcoming arc, because what I see in the visuals just represent the sports festival. But anyways, though, let's talk about the sound effects for a second, which normally I don't usually talk about, which that's something that's kind of sad. But at the same time, though, it's a good thing I'm getting to talk about it now, because this episode had some really good sound effects, and I feel like many are not going to really notice them or appreciate them, and I just really noticed it because I wear headphones while I'm watching anime, and when I was watching this episode, I was like, yo, the sound effects, like, they really went in with those sound effects for the episode. Like, there was a lot of scenes with characters, the way they were moving, or when they were messing with stuff in their hair or whatever, you saw how there was little sound effects to that. I'm like, whoa, like, especially when you see, like, the chair move or whatever, there were sound effects added to these little things, which normally you would not hear for anime, and it's those little things, the tiny little things, that can really allow you to get immersed in an anime series, and I was just so surprised to, hear such good sound effects throughout this episode, and like I said, I don't feel like many are going to notice that, because if you don't wear headphones, you will not notice it. You most likely, it's just going to fly over your head, or you're just going to, zone it out or whatever. You're just going to be listening to the voices and looking at the subtitles, but there was some really good sound effects. I mean, I actually appreciate that so much. You didn't need music in every single scene. We actually had good sound effects with the characters, the way they moved. And also, can I just take a moment to say that the animation of this episode was spot on? Like, oh my god, the animation was good. Like, Season 1 had some really good animation, but this, damn, if this is what I can expect from future episodes, and probably even better because of upcoming episodes and the contents that they're going to be, contained within the episodes, oh my, it's going to be insane, because this looked good, especially for a recap-ish type episode. I mean, it legit was kind of a recap episode, and the way it was done with characters just interacting with each other, talking and all that, you having a little funny moments here and there, and just the way it looked and how good it looked, I'm just so surprised. So, if it looks that good for an episode like this, just imagine future episodes that are focused around action, the really important scenes. Now, speaking of the plot of the first episode of Season 2, though, there is a lot of setup going on. Number one, the sports festival. That's a big thing of this episode, and that's kind of what the main arc of the first half of Boku no Hero Academia is going to be about. It's where everybody, all, the students, they come together, they go to the sports festival, they compete, and they pretty much have to get noticed or whatever by certain top, heroes all around the nation. If they get noticed, they actually can become, acknowledged and become their sidekick or whatever. And so this is some really good stuff for the students. This is actually a good step for them, but also it's a very popular event. A lot of people watch this. A lot of people, tune into it. Not even people that are heroes, just regular people, they tune in to watch this event. So it's a very popular event. It needs a lot of security, and so it's going to be like, the tournament arc for a shonen. So that's what you need to picture from this, like a tournament arc. That's exactly what the sports festival is, just to give some clarification to what this is about. Now, besides that, there is some setup for some of the villains. We get to see Shigaraki in this episode, and kind of how the adults, the heroes, start talking about what Shigaraki is, his mentality as a villain. And at the end of Season 1, we got to see a little bit of his character. He was very childish, but at the same time, he thought everything was a game. And the way he went about it, he gave up too easy. He's like, oh, it's game over, and he pretty much gave up too easy, and he left or whatever. And they were kind of, doing an analysis of Shigaraki and what type of person he was in this episode. It's showing how immature he is, but at the same time, since he's such a simple-minded villain, or he's so straightforward and evil, that many can rally behind him and understand him and just, back him up, which that's why so many villains were helping him out. But at the same time, though, there was some hints at, a possible other villain throughout the episode. So, I'm just gonna say, I love the foreshadowing of this episode. There were some certain lines with All Might. I'm not going to go into details, but there were some certain lines with All Might as well that had some really good foreshadowing, and I just feel like, anime onlys, pay attention to that. There's some really good stuff there for future episodes. I don't know if Season 2 is going to cover it. the contents that are being foreshadowed, but there's some really good foreshadowing in this episode, and it just really makes me appreciate the writing of Horikoshi, the mangaka of Boku no Hero Academia. So yeah, first episode, I'm excited, I'm hyped, I'm happy with what I got, and it's finally back. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.